YNGWIE Malmsteen. The name alone conjures images of lightning-fast fretwork, soaring melodies, and a stage presence as fiery as his signature Stratocaster. But behind the virtuoso, the legend, lies a complex and often controversial figure. A man driven by an unwavering belief in his own genius. A man who has both captivated and alienated audiences and fellow musicians alike. Born Lars Johan Yngwie Lannerback, Stockholm, Sweden in 1963, young Yngwie was a wild child. His parents divorced when he was a baby, and he grew up in a permissive household with his mother, Rigmor, an artistic free spirit. Early attempts at piano and trumpet lessons failed to capture his interest until he witnessed the raw power of Jimi Hendrix on television. Tragically, on the day of Hendrix's death, that the fire ignited. As Yngwie himself put it, the day Jimi Hendrix died, the guitar-playing Yngwie was born. Fueled by this newfound passion, the young Swede immersed himself in music, and he devoured Deep Purple albums, meticulously dissecting Ritchie Blackmore's solos. He discovered the fiery brilliance of Niccolò Paganini, the 19th-century violin virtuoso, whose technical wizardry and flamboyant showmanship resonated deeply with Yngwie. Born Lars Johan Yngwie Lannerback, he later adopted his mother's maiden name, Malmsteen, transforming himself into the icon we know today. But Yngwie wasn't just mimicking his idols, he was forging his own path, blending the raw energy of rock with the intricate beauty of classical music. He practiced relentlessly, honing his skills to an almost superhuman level. By his teens, he was already a force to be reckoned with, crafting intricate compositions that showcased his burgeoning talent. America beckoned that in 1982, at the age of 19, Yngwie arrived in Los Angeles, guitar in hand and a burning ambition in his heart. He quickly caught the attention of Mike Varn, a prominent figure in the burgeoning heavy metal scene who had founded Shrapnel Records, a label dedicated to showcasing talented guitarists. Varney was impressed by Yngwie's demo tapes and helped him land a spot in Steeler, a Los Angeles-based heavy metal band featuring vocalist Ron Keel. Yngwie's time in Steeler, however, was brief, that he joined the band in late 1982 and played on their self-titled debut album, released in 1983. The album showcased Yngwie's impressive guitar skills, but his neoclassical style didn't quite mesh with the band's more traditional heavy metal sound. Furthermore, Yngwie's demanding personality and desire for creative control clashed with the band's established dynamic. He reportedly clashed with Ron Keel over songwriting and performance aspects, and his tendency to launch into extended guitar solos disrupted the band's setlist and flow. Yngwie later admitted that he saw Steeler as a stepping stone, a way to gain exposure and experience in the American music scene. He wasn't interested in conforming to the band's vision, and his sights were already set on bigger things. After a handful of live performances and the release of the album, Yngwie left Steeler in early 1983 to pursue other opportunities. His departure was not amicable, and there was reportedly some animosity between him and the other band members. Despite its short duration, Yngwie's stint in Steeler served as an important introduction to the American music scene, paving the way for his future success. Yngwie's next move proved to be a significant step up, that he joined Alcatrazz, a band formed by Graham Bonnet, the former vocalist of Rainbow. This pairing seemed like a match made in heavy metal heaven, bringing together Bonnet's powerful vocals and stage presence with Yngwie's virtuoso guitar playing. Their collaboration resulted in the album No Parole from Rock and Roll, released in 1983. The album, which garnered critical acclaim and achieved commercial success, and was particularly popular in Japan. However, the seeds of discontent were sown early on that Yngwie's ego and his desire to dominate the musical direction of Alcatrazz created friction within the band. He saw himself as the driving force, the star of the show, and he wasn't shy about expressing his opinions, often at the expense of his bandmates. He was very demanding, Bonnet recalled in an interview. He wanted everything to be his way, and he didn't take kindly to any suggestions or criticisms. This wasn't an isolated incident. Arguments, disagreements over musical direction, and Yngwie's general lack of respect for his bandmates created a toxic environment. Yngwie's onstage antics also caused tension that he would often launch into extended guitar solos, sometimes lasting over 20 minutes, leaving Bonnet and the other band members standing awkwardly in the background. This behavior further fueled Bonnet's frustration and resentment. It was like he was trying to prove something, Bonnet said. He wanted to show everyone that he was the best guitarist in the world, and he didn't care who he stepped on to do it. The clashes between Yngwie and Bonnet eventually reached a boiling point during a tour of Japan in 1984. In an interview we did with Graham last year, Bonnet recounted an incident where things turned physical.
But he was playing through everything because people were looking at him. He wanted to be seen. And I thought, well, this guy's going to go. He's looking to go on to something else, which eventually happened. Because what happened one night, I don't know if you heard the story, but he grabbed me. I went off stage, and I went off to the bus, and he came off stage and grabbed me by the throat and started pressing in here. It's really hard, trying to destroy my tonsils and whatever else. And I was going, what were you doing? What are you doing? You said, you fucking bastard, you pulled my fucking cord out of my guitar when I blew my lead. And I didn't at all. I didn't know. I actually walked off stage and had pulled it out by accident. Because, you know, the stage was dark, the spotlight was on him, and I'd gone off to the bus, you know, just to get some air, sort of thing. And he thought I did it on purpose, which I didn't. And so he tried to kill me, basically. And it could destroy my vocal cords and my tonsils, whatever. As I said, he's bigger than me. And then one of our Yugoslavian roadies, I remember him so well, bless him, he died not so long ago. And he got hold of Yngwie, got hold of him by the head, put him under his arm like this, and said, you fucking touch Graham one more time, I'd break your fucking neck. Okay. Because he was stronger and bigger than him, you know. So that night when we're driving home, we fired him on the bus.
The following day, the band fired Malmsteen. This marked the end of Yngwie's brief but impactful time in Alcatrazz. While the band provided him with a platform to showcase his talents and gain wider recognition, his ego and uncompromising nature ultimately led to his downfall. However, this experience also served as a catalyst for his solo career, which would soon propel him to even greater heights. Undeterred by his dismissal from Alcatrazz, Yngwie wasted no time in launching his solo career. In 1984, he released his debut solo album, Rising Force, which would become a landmark in the neoclassical metal genre. The album showcased his unparalleled guitar skills, his unique blend of classical and rock influences, and his ambitious songwriting. Rising Force was a critical and commercial success, establishing Yngwie as a guitar hero for a new generation. To bring his musical vision to life on stage, Yngwie needed a vocalist who could match his intensity and technical prowess. Enter Scott Soto, a young singer with a powerful voice and a passion for hard rock. Soto's vocal contributions to Rising Force were undeniable, adding another dimension to Yngwie's already impressive compositions. I was blown away when I first heard Yngwie play, Soto recalled in an interview. His speed and precision were unlike anything I had ever heard before. I knew I had to be a part of his band. Soto joined Yngwie's band, which also included Jens Johansson on keyboards and Barrymore Barlow on drums. Yngwie's live performances were legendary, filled with his signature lightning-fast solos, acrobatic stage moves, and a flamboyant persona that captivated audiences. While the collaboration between Yngwie and Soto initially seemed promising, cracks soon began to appear in their professional relationship. Yngwie's demanding nature and his insistence on complete creative control created a challenging environment for Soto and the other band members. Yngwie was a perfectionist, Soto explained. He had a very specific vision for his music, and he expected everyone to follow his lead. There was very little room for collaboration or creative input. Soto felt increasingly stifled by Yngwie's controlling approach. He was often relegated to simply delivering Yngwie's predetermined vocal melodies, with little opportunity to express his own musicality. I felt like a glorified session singer, Soto admitted. I was there to sing his songs his way, and that was it. Tensions escalated during the recording of Yngwie's second album, Marching Out, 1985. Soto felt that Yngwie was becoming increasingly dismissive of his contributions, and that his role in the band was diminishing. He also grew tired of Yngwie's tendency to micromanage every aspect of the music, leaving little room for spontaneity or improvisation. It was like walking on eggshells, Soto said. You never knew when Yngwie was going to erupt or criticize you for something. The final straw came when Yngwie decided to re-record all of Soto's vocal parts on Marching Out without his knowledge. Soto was deeply hurt and offended by this act of disrespect, and he decided to leave the band before the album was even released.
Never worked with Yngwie. I only worked for Yngwie. You know what I mean. With Yngwie, I was so young. I was 18 when I joined him. And it was like out of high school, and then you're doing something that's basically the beginning, the nucleus of your career. So I didn't know what to expect. I had nothing to compare it to. Therefore, I didn't know how to even treat the situation. All I knew is it didn't feel right. A lot of elements made me not want to be there, and that's why I didn't stay very long. But I learned a lot from it, and I was able to take a lot back into the situation where I work with them again.
Soto's departure marked a significant turning point in Yngwie's career. While he continued to achieve success with other vocalists, the loss of Soto's powerful voice and stage presence was felt by many fans. The incident also further solidified Yngwie's reputation as a difficult and demanding collaborator. Despite the challenges and controversies, Yngwie's solo career continued to flourish. He remained a prolific and influential figure in the world of heavy metal, inspiring countless guitarists with his virtuosity and his unique blend of classical and rock elements. However, the musical landscape was changing. Grunge and alternative rock were rising in popularity, and Yngwie's neoclassical metal seemed somewhat out of step with the times. Despite this, he retained a loyal fanbase and continued to tour extensively. In 1997, Yngwie suffered a serious setback that he was involved in a car accident that resulted in nerve damage to his right hand, threatening his ability to play guitar. Through extensive physical therapy and sheer determination, he regained much of his dexterity and continued his career. The new millennium saw Yngwie exploring new musical avenues that he released albums like Attack, Unleash the Fury, and Perpetual Flame, showcasing a heavier and more aggressive sound. He also collaborated with a diverse range of artists, including Joe Satriani and Steve Vai, as part of the G3 tour, demonstrating his versatility and willingness to step outside his comfort zone. In 2008, Yngwie joined forces with other guitar heroes, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Zakk Wylde, and Nuno Bettencourt, to form Generation X, a supergroup that toured the world, showcasing the talents of each guitarist. This project allowed Yngwie to connect with a new generation of fans and demonstrate his enduring appeal. Yngwie continued to release studio albums, including Relentless, Spellbound, and Blue Lightning, exploring blues influences and revisiting some of his classic tracks. His most recent album, Parabellum, released in 2021, demonstrates that he hasn't lost his edge, with a mix of instrumental and vocal tracks that showcase his signature neoclassical style. Even in recent years, Yngwie hasn't been able to avoid controversy. His outspoken nature and tendency to criticize other musicians have continued to generate headlines. In a 1994 Guitar World interview, he confidently declared, "I'm the best at what I do. There's nobody even close to me." This statement, while showcasing his self-belief, also contributed to the perception of him as arrogant and dismissive of other musicians. While some might dismiss this as rock star bravado, it has contributed to a perception of Yngwie as being aloof and egotistical. Perhaps the most damaging controversies stem from alleged racist and homophobic remarks he has made in interviews and on stage. These incidents have tarnished his reputation and alienated some fans. Yngwie has denied these allegations and claimed his words were taken out of context, but the damage has been done. Yngwie's demanding nature and insistence on absolute control have made it notoriously difficult for him to maintain a stable band lineup. Joe Lynn Turner, known for his work with Rainbow and Deep Purple, had a similarly tumultuous experience with Yngwie. He has described the guitarist as being impossible to work with and has recounted instances of Yngwie throwing tantrums and sabotaging recording sessions if things weren't done his way. Yngwie would often re-record Turner's vocal parts himself, dissatisfied with Turner's interpretation of the melodies. These are just a few examples of the many musicians who have struggled to work with Yngwie. His perfectionism and insistence on complete creative control have led to a revolving door of band members, making it challenging for him to forge lasting musical partnerships. These controversies are an undeniable part of YNGWIE MALMSTEEN's story. They have, at times, overshadowed his musical achievements and made it difficult for some to appreciate his undeniable talent. However, it's important to remember that Yngwie is a complex individual, and his music should be judged on its own merits. Despite the controversies and the ever-changing musical landscape, YNGWIE MALMSTEEN remains a force to be reckoned with. He continues to tour the world, captivating audiences with his virtuosity and showmanship. His influence on generations of guitarists is undeniable, and his music continues to inspire and amaze. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that YNGWIE MALMSTEEN is a true original, a guitar icon who has left an indelible mark on the world of music. So, now it's over to you rock rebels. Today's poll question is, what's your favorite YNGWIE MALMSTEEN album? Rising Force, Marching Out, Trilogy, or Odyssey? Let us know in the comments what you think of YNGWIE Malmsteen's music and his legacy. Is he a genius, a madman, or a bit of both? Until next time, rock rebels, live life loud.